My friend told my boyfriend about my dad's affair, ruining Christmas. So I got revenge at her birthday party by exposing her affair. So I invited my long-term boyfriend, Christian, to spend Christmas with my family. He was very excited and came super early to help with the party preparations. Christian was quite intimidated by my father. My dad had always been super protective of me and had always hated all my boyfriends. But Christian was different. We had been dating for over years now, worked in the same office and were living together for quite some time. To my surprise, they were both playing really nicely that day and were on their best behavior. We started the party by evening and had loads of fun. I had even forgotten about the tension between Christian and Dad. They were both busy playing games too. After that, we all had a lovely dinner and hot chocolate. With hot chocolate, we all started playing Truth and Dare. When it was my dad's turn, my cousin asked him how much he really liked Christian. My dad told everyone that he liked Christian only enough to break his bones the day he leaves his daughter for someone else. Christian quickly got up and yelled, "Wise!" Coming from a cheater himself. My dad became absolutely furious, and they both started fighting with each other. I had no clue what had happened between them, so I asked Christian why he spoke to my father that way. What I heard from him next made my heart sink. He told me that my best friend Jessica told him that my dad had cheated on mom with my aunt. So as a cheater, he should not judge that Christian will ever hurt me like that. My mind became completely numb. I had completely forgotten about this and had told no one but Jessica about it. Mom didn't know either. She heard everything though and ran straight to her room and locked herself crying. I tried to get her to open the door, but she wouldn't listen. I told Christian to leave, and shortly after that, everyone left the party. The family drama had ruined that Christmas for everyone. So a couple of years back, my mom and I went to stay with my sick grandma in California. Meanwhile, I had come home one day to get my books, and that was when I saw Dad with my aunt. I confronted him after our trip, but he begged me to not tell Mom. A week after that Christmas disaster, Mom finally left home and filed for divorce. I fought with Jessica, but she kept trying to act like it was just a careless mistake that she told Christian about my family secret. That secret really broke my family because of Jessica's big mouth. I wasn't going to let her get away with it, but I thought I would wait for the right time to spill some of her secrets. A couple of months later, Jessica's birthday arrived. She knew all about my parents' divorce by now. All our friends did. Her parents were throwing her a huge party and invited all her friends and family to it. Her parents and our friends kept mocking me throughout the party, about my father being a cheater. I couldn't bear with it. Right before Jessica's cake cutting, everyone from her family started giving a toast to her. So I raised my glass to give one too. I was extremely resentful of her. I really wanted to give Jessica a taste of her own medicine. She spilled my family's secret, so now I was gonna spill hers in front of all of her family and friends. I started the toast by telling everyone how she was the one responsible for my parents' divorce and that secret getting out in such a bad manner that it humiliated my mother in front of our entire family. I then proceeded to tell everyone about Jessica's big secret. The moment she heard me say that, she stopped making faces and her face went completely blank. She started looking at our other friends to ask if they knew someone about what I was going to say, but all of them had the same confused look. I told everyone how Jessica slept with her sister's fiancé over spring break. The way her sister gasped and looked at Jessica with rage and then at her fiancé was priceless. I even told everyone how she did it. I explained how her sister had gone to New York for a job interview for 2 days, during which Jessica started spending time with her sister's fiancé. She had asked him to give her some piano lessons, and that was when it happened. He ended up cheating on Jessica's sister. At this time, Jessica's mom yelled and asked how I knew about all this. I smiled, looked at Jessica and told her exactly what she had told me when I was furious at her for spilling my family secrets. I said, "You told me all about it yourself, Jess. I thought everyone already knew." Jessica started sobbing and her sister began to yell about her being a hypocrite because she kept spreading rumors about my dad's affair while she had been a cheater too. Her entire family kept consoling her sister, but she kept fighting with Jessica. Her fiancé also came up to her by this point, to try and explain, but she couldn't even look at him and just ran to her room in disgust. That birthday party turned really sad, quite quickly. The last I heard was that her entire family wanted to cut ties with Jessica and was making her leave the house. I don't feel terrible about doing this. I mean, this was still nothing compared to what she did to my family, but I feel bad for her. I did not expect her entire family to want to cut ties with her. Am I the a-hole? Update 1. So I stayed in touch with Jessica's sister even after that birthday party incident. Her sister somehow felt happy that I told her and everyone the truth about Jessica, so she kept talking to me after the party and kept thanking me. I had been asking her about Jessica, And she had been telling me all about her leaving the house in a week and how they would finally be able to get rid of her. I later found out from her sister that when Jessica left her home and her mom went to clean the room, they found numerous photos of her sister's fiancé in her room along with scrapbooks full of cutouts of him. Her sister and I thought that it was weird because we all thought that Jessica only slept with him that one time during spring break and never before, but then how could she have so many of his pictures and why would she save them and decorate them in a scrapbook? So her sister invited me to their place to look at all those pics in Jessica's computer. I knew her password, so we quickly started looking at her web history. What we saw had us both shaken. Her sister called her parents to look at her computer with us, and we saw that she had been stalking her sister's fiancé for over months and probably had a huge crush on the guy. We even found out that she had been stalking him way before her sister and that guy even started dating. How was that possible? I will keep you guys posted on any new information I get from her sister. Update 2, yes, we did find out why she had been stalking the guy. A couple of days after I left their home that day, her sister had a serious discussion with their parents about what Jessica was up to. They kept calling Jessica and asking her about it, but she wasn't telling them anything. It was when her sister called her personally and threatened to stop talking to her forever that she started telling the truth. She told her that she had always had a crush on that guy but never had the nerve to ask him out. When Jessica found out that her sister had started dating the guy, she stopped pursuing him, thinking that they might eventually break up just like all the other previous relationships that her sister has had. But when she found out that they had both gotten engaged, she became extremely jealous and started trying to get close to her sister's fiancé. She kept flirting with him and tried to seduce him every now and then. So, during spring break, when her sister was not around for 2 days, she finally got him all to herself and was able to get close to him. Her entire family was horrified to learn of these facts. Update 3, Jessica came to visit me a few days back and started blaming me for everything and her family not talking to her, but I put her in her place and told her that just like my father, she had this coming and the only person responsible for it was her. The altercation happened in front of all our friends, and since then, all our friends cut ties with her too. I also heard that she went back to her house to beg her family to forgive her, but they refused. I feel bad that she must feel lonely, but she is still so ignorant about what caused all this to happen and keeps blaming her family or me. She is not at all regretful or have any remorse for the damage she did to 2 families. I don't know if she will ever learn. I just hope she changes herself after this incident. Update 4, there has been a positive update, guys. Jessica's sister decided to forgive her fiancé after months of persuasion. They have since started dating again and seem very happy together. Though the wedding is off for now, the start of a fresh relationship is a good thing for them. I keep hearing from her sister about all the places she went to visit with her boyfriend. I am extremely happy that they didn't suffer because of Jessica. I had asked her if they were still in touch with Jessica, and none of them were. She called on my birthday to wish me and I asked her where she was staying and how she was and she started sobbing. She kept apologizing for breaking my parents' marriage and her sister's relationship. I told her that I forgave her and she should give her family some time to warm up to her too. I also told her that her sister's relationship was stronger and did not break because of all this drama. It truly made her very happy. I don't know if she will ever change, but she has started to be more considerate of her actions at least. I'll try to make this short. I have a niece who lives in my city. She is the only child from my brother's first marriage, which ended, mercifully, in divorce, just like his second. My brother was not much of a father and, after the divorce, was never around and didn't help with support, as far as I know. I don't know if it was court ordered. My parents used to live near me and, as grandparents do, kept in touch with my niece and even took her in when she was in high school so she could get a better education because my city's schools are much better than they are in my ex-sister-in-law's city. My niece didn't finish high school and started running around with the wrong crowd. Long story short, she got pregnant and dropped out of high school. 5 kids and 4 baby daddies later, 6 kids and 4 fathers, the oldest is in his mid-teens, she is semi-independent with a steady job, but still calls my mother for help with various bills. My parents moved away and are now on a fixed income. A few months ago, through no fault of her own, my niece was getting help from someone on the side of the highway and was struck by a car and badly injured. She is doing better, but still can't work. For whatever reason, her public assistance didn't come this month. It's the 24th, so I questioned that, and my mother called and asked if I could fill up her car with gas and take her food shopping because she has no food. I told my mother that I can't help her, but I would talk with my wife. I don't want to say, let me talk with my wife and then have the answer come back no, because it could look like it was my wife's decision when I know perfectly well whatever decision will be mutual. I don't want to make her look like the bad guy. It has been my and my wife's agreement that we don't extend help to anyone who doesn't normally make good decisions because, in our experience, Those people never learn how to make better decisions and they'll keep coming back for more handouts. Also, it wouldn't hurt my finances if I did fill up her car and buy her a couple weeks of groceries. Am I the a-hole for not helping? My friend Matt, 30 male, and his fiancée make good money and come from money, but they're notoriously frugal people. I, 28 male, was asked to be a groomsman and happily agreed. However, I've started to realize that the task is more than I anticipated. Also, I'm just a regular groomsman, not the best man. For the bridal shower, I was expected to help set up. No biggie. But the groom was very demanding about where he wanted decor placed. I'd rearrange something how he asked, then he'd tell me to rearrange it a different way. I'd rearrange it again, then he'd tell me to tell it back the first way because it looked better. It was a nightmare. And that was just for the shower. Yesterday I got an itinerary for the wedding. I'm expected to be there for 5 or 6 hours the night before to walk through the ceremony and help set up decor. Then, the following day, of the wedding, I'm expected to get there around 10:30 a.m. and get ready, to be expected, then, stay until after the reception at 11:30 p.m. and tear down for several hours. I told the groom that I wasn't sure I could stay this late. I've got pets at home and I usually don't stay up that late. The reception starts at 5. The wedding is about an hour from me, and if I help tear down I won't be getting home until 2 a.m. or later. The groom told me that I was expected to help, no exceptions, as I signed up for it. I told him that he should have hired somebody to tear it down or at least let us know his expectations ahead of time. Because I probably wouldn't have agreed, had I known I'd be working for 5 hours one day and 14 hours the next. I told him they had money to hire somebody and chose to be cheap and make the bridal party do it, and it wasn't fair to let us know last minute. He was unsympathetic and told me that him and his new wife would be leaving the wedding around 10 p.m. and to take it up with the bride's mom. I was floored. Am I the a-hole here?